it's Demelza Fox from Rockstar Priestess here for another episode of Avalon Priestess TV, and today we're talking about the fears that we have, crazy hair today, on our priestess journey. And specifically when we're taking that step to show up as priestesses and be a priestess in the outer world. Now, I want to make clear that you can be a priestess and not actually tell anyone. You never have to tell anyone. And you can actually do priestess work as well and make a big difference to the people in the world around you without ever using that word. If you do not feel comfortable using that word, or if you feel like the people you are serving will not respond well to that word. In the end, it's only a name. It's a word. It's an identity. It's not the pathway to greatness or to being of service. You don't have to. If you do something good without people knowing you're a priestess, it doesn't invalidate what you've done. And this is the edge where priestess becomes an ego identity rather than an action of service. So anyway, on a tangent, today we're going to be talking about the big fear that, which one of these fears shall we talk about? The fear that people will think I'm crazy if I am a priestess. I had this one a lot until quite recently, if I'm being honest. I was really afraid to show up and claim myself as a witch and as a priestess and as someone who was interested in these things, because I really thought everyone would think I was crazy, they would think I was stupid, and they would not take me seriously anymore. I had this big need to be taken seriously by, I don't know. And for me, it was like there was this spectre or ghost. I live in a university town in Britain, and it's very fancy and has a big patriarchal edge. And to me, there was always this imaginary old white guy sitting behind a university desk, judging my every move and thinking I was stupid for believing in magic or witchcraft or fairies or being interested in this stuff. Yeah. And this was just a spectre of my own imagining, but it really got to me. I felt like who I am and what I believe in as a priestess and as a witch, a bit of me felt like it's stupid and it's crazy. Yeah. So that fear of being seen as stupid and crazy by other people that followed me throughout my whole 20s was there because I kind of thought I was stupid and crazy for believing in this stuff. Yeah. If we look at this logically, what we believe is no more stupid and crazy than what a lot of the world believes. Like, the Jesus crew believe in heaven and hell. They believe in Satan, some of them, and they believe in a benevolent God who's also a butthole, and they believe in a guy who died, who was a legit wizard and then came back to life, but no one else can be a wizard because only Jesus can be a wizard. That's all crazy stuff as well. Let's be honest. Any religion, any spirituality, it's all poetry. It's all out there. Like, I'm no more crazy than the Baptist church at the end of my street. Yeah. This fear of being seen as crazy, I think I don't have a magic pill for you to help ease this, but I want you to know that I think a lot of us go through this. It's really interesting to look at, okay, so what am I afraid of people seeing me as? And when I was going through this and thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want people to think I'm crazy. I don't want people to think I am this stereotype of a priestess or this stereotype of a spiritual white lady, because I do not want to be that. And it's this fear of being seen as this fluffy, or my big fear of being seen as a priestess and not being taken seriously was a lot to do with my ideas about what I thought goddess spirituality looks like, or what new age spirituality looks like, and the things I didn't like and the things I found shame in. And when I got to a place where I was really comfy in myself and in my own practice, and I feel this crazy thing, it just does take time for you to get comfy with who you are and what you believe and come into a place of integrity where you're like, No, what I do isn't crazy. It's sane. It's saner than what pretty much anyone else is doing. That's how I feel about what I do. And I know who I am. And at that point, your fear of being labeled as crazy goes away. And one other thing we have to understand about this fear of being crazy, I mean, what's so wrong with being crazy? Like, for me, as someone who's grown up in England, that university spectre guy behind his desk judging me for everything I'm interested in, there is this feeling that anything slightly weird is wrong or is insane or crazy, but who the hell cares? Like, I would much rather live in a world where I believe in magic, where I believe that I can be sent messages from a bird, where I believe that the whole world is responding and dancing with me, than in a logical, empty, dead universe. Like, sign me up for crazy. I live in Britain. We're very agnostic, atheist here. And I live in a university town, so we're very atheist here. And my fear of being seen as crazy is always fear from the atheist crowd. Oh, she a crazy witch. She likes nonsense things. How silly, how childish. And now I'm at a place where I don't care. I don't care if people think I'm crazy. I would rather be crazy and have the deep feeling of spiritual connection and honest, vulnerable, loving relationships and belief in wonder and magic than be like half of those bozos that think I'm crazy. Yeah. And my experience is that I don't tend to run into people that think I'm crazy. I don't run in those circles. I have put my circles in a way that I only hang out with weirdos anyway. And I bet you probably mostly hang out with weirdos too, because that's your people. Yeah. And the piece about and the piece about being crazy is everyone is crazy. Like, I could be labeled as crazy because I believe that essential oils can speak to me and shift me on a deep level. Yeah, plant magic, yeah. Or I can be seen as crazy because I have depression and sometimes my brain is crazy. I'm actually quite okay with being labeled as crazy now. I'm fine with it. Yeah, so I think it's with this fear of being labeled as crazy for being a priestess, who fucking cares? It doesn't matter. Like, our job as priestesses is kind of to stand out. Not necessarily in a I am a priestess, look at my crystal wand, look at my crown kind of way, but to stand for something different and to be the energy of something different. And everything different gets labeled as crazy. But a priestess is a leadership position. It doesn't have to be a leadership position in the way that we get conditioned into thinking it is, like someone who is a leader and tells other people what to do. It can be a leadership position through energy, a leadership position through modeling a way of being. And what you are is always going to be different to what's around you because you're a priestess and because you're a witch and because you're a goddess person. Yeah, and people will always think something different is crazy. And for every person that thinks what you're doing is crazy, it's probably another person going, she's crazy, but like, that seems, I'm interested. Crazy is way more fun than boring and normal. Yeah. So if one of your fears about being on the priestess path is that everyone's going to think you're crazy, maybe they will. Who cares? Like, it can only really, when you have come to this place of, yeah, maybe I'm crazy, I'm okay with that. The ability for other people calling you crazy stops hurting you so much. Like, maybe I am crazy. I believe in fairies. I believe in goddesses. I believe in magic. I believe in all sorts of stuff. But like, loads of people believe Jesus died and come back to life. Loads of people believe that Vishnu turned up in like 9 different incarnations. Is it any crazier than that? No. We're about sane as every other major world religion, us lot, yeah? And people always, well, not always, but often people get a bit weird about things that are different. And our way through that is to be so accepting of our own difference and our weirdness that what other people think, if they think we're crazy, we're like, okay, doesn't bother me. And this is a time thing. This isn't a magical, oh, wow, I watched a 10-minute video on YouTube with Demi about this and now I'm fixed. Wow. As you progress on your journey, you get less worried about being seen as crazy. So if that being seen as crazy piece is a big one for you, I want to reassure you that that's going to soften and that's going to go away. And it softens and goes away with the deeper acceptance of who and what you are. And if you do have this, and I feel that this fear comes from a place of us not really accepting who and what we are, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in anything. Like, we all have this. I had this for years. All of us go through this place of non-acceptance of our weirdness because we're afraid that it's dangerous to stand out. And today, in today's world, we have more protections in the West for being weird than we have for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Yeah. So it is the safest time. It is our golden life, as one of my teachers says. It is the safest time to stand up and be weird. Yeah. And there's often a bit of us that doesn't feel that way. So it's us being really kind and gentle to ourselves, knowing we're going to get there, even if we feel like everyone's going to think we're crazy and worry about our mental health and want to put us in an asylum if we feel like, oh, we can talk to trees and stuff. Yeah. You get less worried about that as you go through. And I literally never thought I would. Never, ever, 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 ever. This is not the job I ever thought I would have when I was little and I was reading about witches and being like, God, if only I could be a witch or a priestess. Oh my God. I never thought I'd have the balls or the ovaries to do this. Yeah. And to let other people know that this is what I was. I was terrified of sharing my priestess and spiritual side of myself for like, I found witchery at like 12 for at least like a decade and a half. I was really scared of it. Now I couldn't give a fuck. I will tell everybody. I'll tell people on trains. I will tell people on planes. I will tell people I meet. Usually I lead with the word witch rather than priestess because they don't really know what a priestess is, a whole other like description stuff. But I don't care anymore. And I never thought I'd be the person that doesn't care. So I just want to reassure you that if you're worried everyone's going to think you're crazy if you step up and be a witch, that's a temporary fear. You're going to get over it. You're not going to give a fuck. Give it a few years. You're not going to care anymore. And I know how debilitating and horrific it feels right now, but it's not a forever fear. I promise. I promise. This one is one that will work itself out. So it doesn't need to hold you back. Because guess what? If you fear that you're crazy for this, you're not going to stop being crazy because you're not going to stop doing this and believing this way, right? This is what and who you are. There's no other way to be this. There's no other way to be you. You're always going to be witchy. You're always going to be priestessy. You're always going to be goddessy. So the only way to process this is just at some point you're going to be in complete like approval of this and be like, yeah, I think very different things to my dad. I think very different things to my mum. I think very different things to everybody on this street. They're a bit weird, but actually they make my life awesome. And it's probably no weirder than the stuff that they believe. Like some of them might believe that Kim Kardashian is God's gift to the world. Who knows? Everyone's crazy and it's fine. So I hope that helped. If you would love to learn more about the path for a priestess, I have a free gift for you. What is today's free gift? Today's free gift is the Rockstar Priestess Activation. I think that's a good one for today. And it looks like this. The little picture will be here soon. And it is a beautiful 2 workbook guidebook. I always overgive. that helps you understand the different kinds of priestess that there are, and helps you figure out your own path within priestessing. It's really, really good. You should get it. There will be a link below. And if you're really interested in stepping up into your power as a priestess and really truly embodying this role of being a modern day priestess in the world, I am running this year in 2023 a deep dive Priestess of Avalon training. So if you would like more information on that, just hit me up in the comments below, send me a message at my website rockstarpriestess.com or priestesstraining.com, and I'll tell you more about that when it's ready. Ooh, thank you for joining me, and let me know what other fears of stepping up and being seen as a priestess you would like me to talk about, because I feel like this is going to be a series. Bye everyone.